people go to work and a lot of times they dealing with things that they don't want to even deal with. Then they probably got to sit in traffic to come home, right? They had to sit in traffic to go to work too. Then, not that it's against you or nothing, but you probably don't even got dinner ready, and they hungry, they hungry. You need to have that food ready, and then you want to talk instead of getting to the dinner. Then you want to talk instead of getting to the dinner.
Preach!
You know what I'm saying?
Shh, be quiet.
Used to leave the door unlocked, so people were able to just walk into our house. That was just the thing.
And he's talking about him and his college buddies, because your girl wasn't leaving her door unlocked for people to walk in.
Yeah, no, she wasn't. It was me and my college friends. Yeah. But that's just what we used to do, and to a certain extent, while she's in the house, that may make her feel uncomfortable.
Right.
That's a boundary she has set for herself, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, I don't even know how I got into that, but it's understandable. It's like, for a boundary for me, it's like, all right, well, I lock the door when I come in here. We go to sleep. How do you even know if somebody locked the door when you go to sleep?
If they're just so used to leaving it unlocked.
Yeah, we were so used to leaving it unlocked. We got our door kicked in at a party, and we're able to go to sleep that night. I still think about that sometimes. Like, how did we do?
You didn't stay at my house?
No,
you didn't stay in my apartment?
No, we slept in our house.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Me? Nah, I went home.
You probably went home.
I went home. Yeah. But yeah, so that's definitely like knowing each other's boundaries, because in that case, if I didn't feel comfortable staying there and I told him, hey, this whole letting people just come into your apartment like that, I don't feel comfortable with it. And he's like, well, listen, I have 3 other roommates. This is our place. Like, and disregards what I feel, that would be an argument. Because y'all know by now, your girl don't play. She don't just take you going to disregard me for an answer.
Darius know about this. The smoking sometime.
Listen, I would go to their apartment and they would smoke hookah and stuff like that. And when I come, listen, they will take it outside, because I do not like the smell of smoke. I just don't like it. And granted, yes, this is your home. You pay the bills. However, you respect the lady, okay? She's coming in. You clean up a little bit. Respect me, because I respect you.
Yes,
and I would do the same if I was the smoker and you came into my home.
Exactly.
I would do the same. So I think that's a huge thing, is knowing each other's boundaries. Talk about your boundaries, because you can't just assume your partner knows all of your boundaries.
Yeah.
And so if you accidentally, step over someone's boundary and then they get upset about it, it's like, yeah, they have a right to get upset because you did cross a boundary. But if the person didn't know, you have to be understanding and say, okay, I understand that you didn't know. This is my boundary. This is why I'm set, and explain it.
Yeah.
But that is a huge cause of arguments.
Yep. Yeah.
And then also another thing is feeling attacked. So when you argue, another con is that as a person who you're bringing something to, if you just come at them in a defensive or offensive way, they're going to feel attacked. And I know I'm guilty of this. Another con is stonewalling. And stonewalling is when you just ice cold shut down, and it's like, I'm not trying to argue with you, man, so I'm gonna be quiet. And you talk to me, you about to be talking to a stone wall, okay? Because I do not want to argue, especially if I feel like it's not going to be an effective disagreement. If I don't feel like it's going anywhere, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
and you got to remember, that's an assumption. So sometimes you can't assume. You don't know how things are going to go, but that may lead to, you may assume, stonewall, and now your partner's upset because they're trying to talk to you and you're not really being receptive of what they're trying to tell you. Yeah.
And that's another thing too. So the cons were stonewalling and then also attacking and feeling attacked within a relationship. But to add on to that is, oh man, I just lost it. Yikes.
What?
It was another, so because you said we were talking about stonewalling and assumptions.
Oh,
A con to arguments is assumptions.
Yes.
Sometimes we just cutting people off. That's a huge con because you assume that you know what the person was going to say. So you just cut them off and you're just ready to go. And you may be wrong. Or like you said, was like if I stonewall, assuming things are going to go negatively, I don't give him the chance to show me anything different. So those are huge cons that, you want to avoid.
Yeah, you do.
Not to.
So, man, those are big.
Yeah.
But let's say, so another cause would be, of arguments could be daily stress and lack of intimacy.
Oh. I said cons. Yeah, those are causes.
Yeah,
if you feel attacked
or
if you stonewall.
Oh, I didn't even know that you said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so another cause could be daily stress and lack of intimacy. So remember, people go to work and a lot of time they dealing with things that they don't want to even deal with. Then they probably got to sit in traffic to come home, right? They had to sit in traffic to go to work too. Then, not that it's against you or nothing, but you probably don't even got dinner ready, and they hungry, they hungry. You need to have that food ready, and then you want to talk instead of getting to the dinner. Then you want to talk instead of getting to the
brother,
dinner.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? So, that can frustrate them. And then it can frustrate you.
Right.
Because they're not giving you that intimacy that you need.
Right. Or understanding what you did all day and why dinner isn't ready. You could have been doing homework or house chores or whatever.
Exactly.
And then, that frustration, that stress, that individual stress can lead to an argument because it's like you don't know how that person's day was.
Boom. So, and like she said, she mentioned it in the beginning is releasing the tension. You need to release the tension. And a lot of times you have to, first of all, get an understanding of what the heck is going on.
Right.
A lot of times people don't just stop, ask their partner how things been, how are they doing.
How's your day?
And not about today. If you don't do it every day, you need to ask about how things been at work.
Right.
Because it may been things that has been possibly going on that they didn't necessarily share with you. And what I've learned is a lot of men don't even think that they should share certain things. And I believe that that's false because your wife or the person that's next to you is supposed to be the support to kind of help you get through those tough times.
Indeed.
So why wouldn't you tell them? It's kind of,
you don't have to be so strong, fellas. You can tell us.
Yeah, and then it's selfish because they know something wrong and you leaving them there just thinking.
True.
About,
it's like we ask you what's wrong, and then if you say, "Oh, nothing," my man.
Yeah.
We know you.
And
something is wrong.
Yeah, and you know how I feel for you to keep asking your woman what's wrong, and she keeps saying nothing. You know
something's wrong. Yeah, you don't like it because then it also goes back to like, do you not trust me with your issues or your problems, or like why are you lying to me?
There you go. So we heard that somewhere else too.
Yeah, on another podcast.
Yeah, when you're not answering those type of questions, it can lead to an insecurity within your partner because they know you lying.
Yeah, and then you lead them to assume, and then we just say it's the cause of an argument. You don't want that.
Exactly.
You don't want it.
And you don't even you sitting here lying. You believe your lies after a certain point. You sitting here lying. So now you don't even know why she's sitting here doing this. So she over here making assumptions, right? And now she nagging and bothering you, and you sitting there talking to your homies like, I don't even know what's going on, bro.
When you with the cause, brother.
Yeah, you lying. You the one lying.
Yes. So that's definitely a cause of argument.
Cause and effect, my man. Cause and effect.
Word. Alrighty. So the last thing we'll go over as far as a cause of arguments is just unresolved issues. And we kind of spoke on it when we were talking about the cons of arguments, is when you're just going in circles and complaining and not actually making a resolution, those things are always going to come back up. So it's really imperative and important to make sure when something's bothering you or when you guys are having a disagreement, get to a solution. Try to come to a solution, or even if it's agreeing to disagree and say, this is how we're going to move forward with this. But if you just leave it as, okay, we were angry, we let each other have some breathing room, and then the next day we're just talking like everything's fine, that issue will resurface.
Yeah.
Because you never dealt with it.
Yeah. So that kind of leads into the best practices to kind of stay away from arguing and managing the conversations to have effective disagreements. The best...
You heard it here first.
Effective disagreements. So the first one would be to, like she said, sometimes you might have to wait and cool each other. Y'all have to cool down, you know? So you want to pick the best time to approach your partners.
Right. And make sure it works for both of you. Because
Exactly.
I'm the one, like in our relationship, I'm the one I can't deal with too much download, too much talking.
Yeah.
So sometimes I need a break. But it's not fair to say, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. It's like, okay, I need a break. Give me 30 minutes. And then we can come back when we're both calm and have this discussion.
Yeah. But to meet her in the middle, in her defense, I'm ready to talk even when I'm on 100. I could be on...
Yes, Lord.
I could be on 60, 30 seconds I'm at 85, knowing I'm going to hit 100. I'm still ready to engage in the conversation.
Right. And I understand it. It's like he wants to unload all the stuff that he's frustrated about. But I think that's part of the control. Like we said, you wouldn't do that to your boss. So it's like you have to find, okay, if I can control myself in this environment, I can control myself here. So I think that is important, hun, to take a break and know when is the right time to approach each other about certain situations.
Yeah. And the next one would be to, obviously, once you guys calm down, you want to make sure you do approach your partner and try to talk it out with them. You don't want to let anything fester.
Yeah, don't beat around the bush, pussyfoot around the situation. Like, you have to address what is bothering you.
Yeah, especially after you guys have calmed down and maybe you guys are happy. You have to try to approach the situation and talk it out. And the goal would be to stick to the point when you do that.
Right.
Make sure you stick to what's going on. Stick to what you have to say and stick to what you mean. Say what you mean what you say when you get to that point in time.
And it's not about pointing fingers. It's just about expressing how you felt, why you dislike something. It's just really explaining your side, what you're feeling, so you can get to a resolution. And
be able to address and understand that there may have been misinterpretations in anyone's words or actions throughout you guys' experiences that may have led into the argument.
Right. And something I want to add too is with assumptions, because we talked about the negatives of assumptions, but I think there's also a positive to assume that, and my mom gave us this little tip. It's always assume that your partner has your best interest at heart. And assume that your partner is never trying to intentionally hurt you. Always assume the best in your partner, even through anger. Because if you do that, then you'd feel less defensive. You'd feel less attacked, and you'd be more understanding to the point that they're hurting and, they may be lashing out in not the best way. So let me stay calm. Let's work through this, and then we can try to correct that behavior.
That's true.
But that was just a little tidbit I thought about. And then also another thing you want to do is a soft start. So you want to make sure that when you come to your partner, you're coming to them and saying, hey, hon, I would like to talk to you about something that bothered me today. Or, hey, baby, this is kind of uncomfortable for me to bring up, but, this made me not happy, or this made me feel this type of way.
In a calm manner.
And you want to be calm, like, while you're bringing something to someone. And then on the other hand, like when you're on the other side of it, you want to be calm when you're addressing your partner, because you don't want them to feel like they're just being dismissed. Like, I'm bringing something to you calmly, and then you're like, well, this you did. Like, you don't do that. You want to be
your
calm,
response
receptive,
matters.
and your response is huge, because then that could just start the whole cycle again. And listen, we throwing out all these tips. Here we go. Put on the gloves.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then also try to just maintain just a talking voice. Like, you can get a little bit passionate and loud, but do not yell. Don't yell throughout the whole conversation. Try to maintain that control. Because, yeah, it's one thing you can express yourself, but I think when you're yelling at like a high level, that's when the other person may feel get defensive as well.
Things
Because
switch at that point.
Right. It's like, yeah, it's just emotions again that are, erupting like a volcano.
Yeah. A huge thing that people should try to do is remember that there's no right or wrong. And once again, I understand that people are human, so it can be tough, especially when in your mind you just know that it happened this way or whatever the case may be. Understand that there's no right or wrong. When someone brings something to you, don't get defensive and try to say, "Oh no, it didn't happen." Your goal is to search for an understanding.
Right.
That is your main goal. Search for understanding. I listened to a podcast recently, and they said the lady was a therapist, and she said the best thing that you can do is tell someone, "Tell me more."
Right. Because then that other person feels heard, and you, on the other hand, get more understanding of why they ended up to the conclusion that they were at.
Exactly. And pretty much, yeah. And the more you do that, you start to understand how your partner thinks.
Right. Oh, that's deep.
You start to understand their logic.
Right.
Because you realize how they got to that.
Yeah.
You realize how they got to that. So even if you don't understand, it's like in a movie, or a show. If you know this one person would do something all the time because you understand how they are after a while. You didn't watch them do it over
right.
A certain
so
amount of time.
and it's like that, like we said, once you do that, you can assume the best in your partner too.
Exactly.
It's like, all right, I know my man. Like, this is what he does. He means no harm, and I can just talk to him about it. If it bothers me.
Yep.
Or it's like, oh, I'm not bothered by it because I know why. I have the understanding on why he's doing X, Y, and Z.
Or you'll be like, oh, I know what he went wrong with. At this point, he might have thought that he or she might have thought that I was doing this, or he might have took it this type of way when I didn't really,
mean it that way.
Yeah.
And then you can have the discussion about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a huge one. I really like that too. It's like you get to know your partner on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Through asking more. Tell me more.
Tell me
more. Alrighty. So once again, just want to reiterate, calm down, take a break. If you guys need to, sometimes things you're just so emotionally attached to that even when you try to remain calm, you try to keep that there, your emotions just get the best of you, and sometimes you just kind of lose it. So if you need to, if you feel yourself getting that way, take a break, take a few deep breaths, breathe. Like, deep breaths actually literally physiologically calm you down.
Yes.
That's why it's huge in meditation. It's huge in yoga. Those are all things that just bring you back to peace. So if you need to, during an argument, just stop. Just say, give me a second. Take a few deep breaths. Just breathe. Yeah. It's going to be a game changer. A huge game changer.
So another practice that you guys should try to stick to, and I think we kind of covered it, but just be there for your partner.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, so that's something we learned in counseling. Sometimes when your partner brings you something you might not understand or whatever, but once again, assume the best out of your partner and expect that they're not coming to you to hurt you, right? So they're more so coming to you with a concern. This is a worry for them.
Yes.
You have to be able to sit back and just say, oh, poor baby. Give them a pat on the back.
Give them a hug.
Yeah, give them a hug, a
Let
kiss.
them know they're supported. They're not alone.
Yeah. From some podcasts we listen to, some people like to be pat on the head, snuggle them up, you know what I'm saying? Baby them a little bit.
Yeah.
You have some people, you have to do that. They just coming to you to vent.
Right.
You know, maybe they've been handling the situation all of these weeks, but today they just cracked and they just need somebody to kind of get them through that point, you know? So just be there for your partner sometimes.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, all the time, all the time.
And then also remember to compromise.
Yeah.
You guys are a partnership. We've been saying partner, partner, partner. You guys are literally a partnership. You're a team. And keep that in the forefront of your mind at all times. And remember...
Keep what at the forefront?
That we're partners. That we're a team.
Yeah. Because that's one of the practices.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that you're a team.
Remember, always.
So it goes hand in hand with compromising.
Yeah. So it's like, as a team... Like, you can't win a football championship if one person says, okay, we're just going to do it my way. And then the other teammates are like, no, we're going to do it my way. You guys are going to be running around looking crazy.
Yep.
So to function as an optimal team, you need to be able to compromise, meet each other in the middle. Like, you both want to be happy. You both want to be satisfied. And yeah, relationships are give and take. So sometimes it's like, I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm just going to like rock with what you want to do this time. But it's not always going to be that way. Sometimes he may bite the bullet and rock with what I want to do. So it's about compromising, and it doesn't always mean that, okay, we both lose something. Sometimes it's I lose everything and we just do it his way, or he loses everything. Or sometimes we meet in the middle, or sometimes we just say, hey, listen, we're going to agree to disagree, both do it our own way, but we're on the same page about it.
Yep.
You know, so compromise is huge in, you know, making sure that each other feels valued. Each other feels like, okay, well, I know she's willing to work with me and meet me in the middle with this. And I feel secure in my relationship. I feel like this is my teammate. It's only going to flourish and strengthen your relationship in the long run.
Correct. And the more you do that and remembering you're a team, you honor your love, remind each other how much you love each other, that confidence stays there to kind of help you get through those times even a little bit more.
Yeah, because you already know from experience, you guys already made it through all these things and effectively communicated and got through all these issues, feeling supported and loved. So that's, and be apologetic.
Oh, yeah.
Do not be so prideful, because I know sometimes when I'm angry, it's like, I'm like, all right, let me apologize. But then in my mind, I'm talking to myself. It's like the angel and the devil on your shoulder. It's like, nah, don't apologize. You ain't doing nothing, girl. Yeah. Or the angel's like, come on, he's hurt.
Yeah. Or some people may feel like they really meant what they were saying at the time. You know, that's just what it is.
What do you mean?
Like in an argument or whatever the case may be, they may felt exactly what they were saying, and later on in the argument they may have changed their mind.
Oh, you could have changed your perspective.
Yeah, you could have changed your perspective. So it's all right to apologize about your previous perspective,
right?
You know, because your previous perspective hurt your partner.
Yeah,
you know, so it's all right to apologize.
Sorry, babe.
It's all right.
Look at that. We just apologized. Oh. I just apologize. But yeah, and like he said, it's about how it made your partner feel. So even if it wasn't your intention, you can apologize and say, hey, babe, oh, I'm sorry you took it that way. Or I'm sorry that hurt you. That is definitely not how I meant it. You know I don't want to hurt your little cute self. So, so it like just put that pride away. When it comes to your relationship, baby, please forgive me. Please. Like, you apologize. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be with this person forever, if you want a lifetime of happiness, love, and joy with this person, a healthy relationship, what's the point in just letting them feel like you just constantly want to hurt them and you never apologize? They can never get an I'm sorry from you. That's not healthy. That's not fun. That doesn't feel good to be on the other end of that. So yeah, do not be prideful. Apologize. Even if you feel like you did nothing wrong, apologize for the fact that, you know, they feel hurt.
Yeah. And lastly, what I wanted to make sure that, you know, people in our community know, and not even just our community in general, because people come back from war and everything and just kind of be, you know, go through PTSD and whatever the case may be, or have experience traumatic upbringings. do not be destructive. Do not put your hands on people. Do not break stuff. Do not throw things. Just
walk away if you need to.
Yeah. Try to channel your energy somewhere else.
Yeah. There are, what are they called?
Rage rooms.
Rage rooms. There's rage rooms. There's boxing. There's so many other things that you can do to release yourself. Do not, under any circumstances, put your hand on anybody else.
Correct. Don't shoot nobody in the feet.
That's not even funny. That's not even funny. He's childish for that one.
I'm childish
for that apologize to Meg.
I apologize, Meg.
But no, seriously, because actually that's an insecurity.
That is.
For someone to take a gun and shoot somebody else in the foot because they were trying to leave, and we don't know the full extent of the situation. You know, you just see what you see online.
That's why I ain't putting no name on the other side.
Oh, yeah, I said for someone, anybody, that's an insecurity on your end to do that. Because now you feel like you lost power and you're trying to gain it back by hurting somebody. Power tripping, for sure. So yeah, do not put your hands on anybody. That's not okay under any circumstance. Do not throw things. Do not break things. Do not throw things at each other. That's all unhealthy. That's not okay. I see a lot of YouTubers actually. They're younger, but a lot of them put their hands on their partner, and it's usually the woman putting their hand on the man.
It's crazy.
That's not okay. It's not healthy. And just because the guy doesn't react in a way to hit you back or anything crazy like that,
doesn't mean that it's okay.
It doesn't mean it's okay, and it's not healthy. And a lot of these people have kids. You don't want your kids thinking that's healthy behavior to pass down.
And yes, and that is, I didn't put it in this because we don't have kids yet, but while I was doing the notes for this podcast, that is a topic that constantly came up. Please try your best not to argue and fight and be irate in front of your kids.
Right.
You know, it's not fair to them that that's something that you're embedding in their brain or behavior.
And it affects them psychologically, physiologically.
Where you think you got it from?
Right. And you can have effective disagreements in front of your kids because it's great.
That's healthy.
Right. It's healthy. It's great to teach your children better communication styles. But arguments, that toxicity,
it's not good.
It's not good at all. Yeah.
And you, all of a sudden, you think that they're these sweet children, and you're getting reports from school, you know, saying that they're bad or they're hitting people or whatever the case may be. You know, that comes from you. You know,
comes from home.
Yeah, they may be the sweetest children to you, but they're learning how to deal with their problems the same way. Y'all are, and to them it's love because y'all sitting in the bed with each other.
You love each other.
Yeah, y'all love each other. This is their dad. You know, y'all come home every day, everything good. Y'all eat dinner together. Y'all not going anywhere. Y'all probably married or whatever the case may be. So that is how they think love is.
Right, and you don't want that. And that's another thing to think about is like, would I want my child dating someone who behaved like me, or behave like my partner? Like, that's something huge to think about. If you wouldn't want that for your child, why is it acceptable for you?
Even if you think it's love to you, for yourself, even if you feel like it's okay for yourself, do you think that you want to watch your child going through that?
Right. And
Could
if you
don't,
watch
your child?
Then it's not okay for you either.
Exactly.
And maybe it's about gaining more self-love and more self-value. And it's not to say that your relationship can't overcome it, but last thing I'll say is maybe counseling would be best for you guys.
Oh, yes.
That, I think that can really help you effectively communicate well, because sometimes it's like when you're in the situation, you don't really see all of your faults. You don't really see the best way you can move forward and make it, you know, more effective.
Yes. Do individual counseling, couples counseling, even family counseling if you have kids, because everything that you're doing around them affects them as well.
And healing, it's never too late to heal.
No.
We didn't get this way overnight, so it's going to take time. Be patient with yourselves. Give each other grace and love. But no, you can change.
Yeah, and I mean, it is what it is. My mom went to counseling at an older age than we are, and I've seen benefits come from that. I've seen change come from that. So like she's saying, it's never too late. There's no age limit. You know, that it's no such thing as you don't don't apply. You can't teach your old dog new tricks to yourself.
All dogs can learn tricks.
All dogs can learn tricks. And I mean, either we got a super smart dog or something like that, but even Kaiser is still learning things at the age
6 years old.
At 6, yeah. And what's that in dog years? Like 42?
Yeah, 42.
Yeah, so
our 42-year-old dog can learn new
don't
tricks.
believe that. Just don't believe the hype.
It's about mindset, y'all.
That's all it is.
Your mind is so powerful, and once you change your mind and you decide that you want to change and be better, it'll happen.
Yeah, you'll be better.
It'll happen. There's so many stories and testimonies out there.
And start with just having effective disagreements, effective communication. If you did not check it out, make sure you go back and check out our keys to communication and relationships. Episode 13. Check it out. It was our first part of our communication series.
Yes.
If you want, make sure you go back and check out the finance series of the joint bank accounts and the budgeting, like we talked about in this podcast as well. Anything else you want to let these people know?
So, if you guys have any issues with like communication or any stories, power trips that you guys want to send in to us, you can email us at thepowertrip@gmail or the PowerTrip Podcast. Or is this the PowerTrip Podcast? The PowerTrip Podcast. Oh, guys, sorry. The PowerTrip Podcast @gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram at the PowerTrip Podcast, on Twitter, the PowerTrip Podcast, and on Facebook at the PowerTrip Podcast. If you guys want it to be anonymous, you can just let us know that as well. We hope that you gained a lot of insight and a lot of jewels and tips that you can utilize for your relationship. And yeah, we just appreciate you guys listening. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, join the family, ring that bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling, skula bella ring. Yes, and continue to follow us and like. Please. Give us those thumbs up.
And shout out to the Philippines. And shout out to Brazil.
Yes.
Shout out to Ireland.
International, baby.
And everybody in Cali right now that has been giving us streams left and right.
Yes,
we appreciate you guys.
So grateful. And we just are so excited about continuing to grow with you guys, share more knowledge. And yeah, that's it, guys. We're out.
Deuces.
Peace.